So something felt off during labor, but maybe no one said anything out loud to you. Now your baby has been diagnosed with HIE, or there may be a subsequent CP or cerebral palsy diagnosis, and you're trying to make sense of all of this. One place to start with all of it: the fetal heart monitor, especially if you had continuous fetal monitoring. Fetal heart patterns like bradycardia and minimal or absent variability can tell the story of whether your baby was in distress and how the medical team responded to that distress. Sometimes the monitor can show us that the baby needed help and the window to act was missed. Two of the most serious patterns that we see in HIE cases are bradycardia and minimal to absent variability. These patterns can point to oxygen problems that happened before or during delivery, and they can raise big questions about whether your baby's brain injury could have actually been avoided. So let's take some time this morning and let's break all of this down. Let's get into it. Bradycardia means that your baby's heart rate dropped below normal, usually below 110 beats per minute. And if it stays low for a certain period, continuous, that can be a red flag. Variability will refer to how much your baby's heart rate goes up and down. And when it's minimal or absent, that can be a sign that the brain is not reacting the way that it should. These patterns can show up on the monitor, and trained medical professionals are supposed to know how to respond to all of this. They have training in this. ACOG has specific definitions for these patterns, and when bradycardia or minimal variability continues for an extended amount of time, that strip may fall into what's called a category 3 tracing, and these will require immediate evaluation and oftentimes interventions. So you may be asking, so Marcus, what can cause all of these patterns? Bradycardia can be triggered by things like compression of the umbilical cord, a placental abruption, or a uterine rupture, or overstimulation from Pitocin. Minimal or absent variability might happen because of ongoing oxygen deprivation. If there was an infection, a prematurity, medications given during labor, or even early signs of a brain injury. The point is this: when we see these patterns together, they can be a warning that the baby is not getting what it needs. And when action is delayed, it can lead to lasting injury for your baby. Now, here's how to get these patterns argued into court. We're going to talk about it from the medical legal side. As a birth injury lawyer, I've reviewed many strips where these signs were present, and some of them for continuous amounts of time. From a plaintiff's side, we can argue that these patterns showed clear signs of fetal distress, that the team should have responded faster. Maybe they should have stopped the Pitocin, or maybe they should have called for an emergency C-section. And by not doing these things in time, your baby's brain was deprived of the oxygen that it needed. Now, the flip side of this, from the defense's side, they may argue that these patterns were not specific. They may say that the medical team responded reasonably given what they saw, or that the injury happened well before labor began, or maybe because of something like an infection or some other type of maternal health issue or genetics. The defense will often say that this was not preventable, and no matter what was done, this was going to be the result. But when we look at the strip and we see prolonged bradycardia combined with absent variability, we begin to start to have to ask the harder questions. Was the baby trying to tell the medical team something? Was there an opportunity to act faster and to be able to avoid the baby's HIE brain injury? These are not just numbers on a monitor when you're looking at the strips. They are signals, and they are, in some cases, they can be signs that were missed. Again, I'm Marcus Boston, and if you have any other questions about your baby's HIE brain injury at birth or subsequent CP diagnosis, if you have these types of questions from a medical legal standpoint, don't hesitate to reach out and contact me. You can find out more information about me in my profile. My information is there. If you're watching this video on certain apps, you can send me a DM and we could chat a little bit about your baby story, or you could just wait and watch the picture that follows the end of this video. All right, that's going to be it for this morning's quick educational video. I can finish my walk and get started with my day. Guys, take care and have a good day.